Welcome to another JSWIFT tutorial. In this session, we will be exploring the payment feature in JSWIFT. We are currently on the verification page that displays the registration number. This page appears after the application has been registered or after a registered application has been submitted. The Pay Now button will indicate to the trader that they are able to go ahead and make a payment. Now, the trader will make a decision at this point if they will pay now or pay later. By selecting Pay Now, the system will take the trader to the payment order page in order to complete the payment details. If the trader is not ready to pay now, they can select Close, and this will allow them to pay at a later date. Now, please note that only a registered application can be paid in the JSWIFT system. If it is stored, that is not considered a submission. It must be submitted. The proof that an application is submitted is that the system would affix a unique registration number to this application. On the screen, our registration number is reflecting 2025 PER 264. Now, what happens if I click Pay Now? If I select Pay Now, the system will take me to the payment order page. Now, on this page, I'm able to complete the payment details for my application. Now, please note that this is not a direct payment method. This page allows you to add various or several permits, license, or other documents to a payment order or request. Now, once you select this page for Pay Now, you're then required to indicate what you're paying for. Now, there are some key information that the system needs to locate this document. One, who the trader is. So you select the name in which the application was done, the date the application was prepared or started and when it was finalized, and the document that you are selecting, whether it's a permit or a license. And also from there, you click on search and you're able to select that document. So as you can see, we entered our date for application when it was done. Then we select that we're doing a permit. Click on search. Once you click on search, all the applications that you had previously prepared that matches the description will be displayed. Now, please note at this time you can choose to pay for one registered document or all the registered applications that you have. The selection for payment is done by clicking the plus sign at the end of that display. If you are observing, you'll notice that at the time of selection, then the system will remove it from the list of available options. This is done to prevent duplication during payment. Once you've finished adding all the documents you wish to pay for, then you select Close. Now, as you scroll on the page, you will see all the selections you would have made. There's an action button to remove a selection if you no longer wish to pay for this application on this payment order. Now, after you have done that, then you can go ahead, select the payment type as ePayment, and then you can select Pay Now. Now, there's another way that you can access this payment order page. Now, what if at the point of seeing Pay Now, you had selected Close? What would have happened? This would not have changed your application from being a registered document. However, you have two options. Either you can search for the application, select Retrieve, and trigger the payment once more. Fees, go to the fees page, modify registered, and click Pay Now. Or you can navigate, you can close here and navigate to Accounting, Payment Order, New. Now, if you observe, both options would lead you to the payment order page. So one, you can select Pay Now and go directly to the payment order page and complete it. Or you can go to Accounting, Payment Order, New, and the page will be available. Now, what if I now want to make the payment? I can go ahead and do that. But the option also remains that I can reserve payment to a later date. Or if there's a separate unit within your organization that makes payment, they can access the page by selecting Accounting, Payment Order, and New. The process for selecting the details is the same as what was demonstrated before. You select the name in which the application was done. You select the date when the application was done. You select the document type, permit, click search, and then you're able to select one. So what if I only want to pay it for one? I would select just the one and close. There you go. And then the system will display based on what was selected. If I further decide that I want to pay for another one, I can go ahead. Once the criteria is correct, the system will find that application and add it to the page. And again, as I said, we're able to add or remove. So we just added, and we can remove the details if we no longer wish to pay for that application by selecting the X to remove. Again, select payment type, ePayment, and then you click Pay Now. Now, once you click Pay Now, the system will indicate that you'll be directed to a third-party gateway. Now, once you select yes, the system will take you to the government pay window, and on that page, you'd be able to enter the details for your credit or debit card. The minute the payment has been accepted, you'll receive a second number, which is your POR reference or your payment order reference. Also, if it is that the payment was not successful, once a payment order was done, you would receive a secondary reference, which is your POR or your payment order reference. Now, what if I selected yes and for whatever reason the payment did not go through, or I was unable to finalize or go end to end with entering my credit card details? The system would have also generated that payment order reference because I did engage the system to create a payment order. Now, if after I have created a payment order, I did not complete that payment, then in order to finalize the transaction, I must search for the payment order. I can no longer go Accounting, Payment Order, New, because that reference would not be available. Let's explore. I have now created a payment order. I now want to re-engage the system to finalize that payment order that was not successful. What should I do? If you go to accounting, payment order and new, this indicates that it's a new payment order. So if I enter the same information, the system will not be able to locate that document because it already exists on a previous payment order. So let's look at that. And this is a common error that happens a lot while using the system. So if I search permit and click search, then the application, which is the 2025 PER 263, is not available anywhere. The reason it is not available is because it already exists on a payment order. So I close, I cannot pay for it using this method. What if I select add new document and I put 2025 permit 263? The system would not be able to confirm that payment because the document already exists on a payment order. Now, what is it that you're supposed to do? The trader, in order to finalize this application for payment, must search for the payment order because it is already on a payment order. You refresh your page, you go to search, document type, payment order, or you can search using the permit. So let's go payment order. That's what we're looking for. If you have the payment order number, you can enter it. You may or may not have it, right? You may have your document reference, right? So let's use a document reference number. We recall that it was 2025 PER 263. Once we click on search, the search result will indicate that there's a payment order that exists that was generated today's date, whatever the date is. It tells what the permit number is, who it belongs to, and that the status is pending payment. Now, this is where you'll finalize your payment. The purpose of this feature is to prevent duplication in payments. So once your payment details is found on a payment order, the system will not allow you to go to a new payment order and add that details. You'll have to search for that application or search for the payment order that that application is found on. Retrieve the payment order. If you notice, it looks like what the new payment order page looks like. The only difference is that the reference for that application that is pending payment is displayed where it says transactions for payment. You scroll on the page, you select a payment type, ePayment, you click verify, OK, and at this time you can select pay now. Once you select pay now, again, the system will direct you to your third-party payment gateway, which is a pay gate, and then you can enter your payment details. The trader has a third option because you may want to cancel this payment order. It's possible that maybe you said, well, at this point, I want to add all my payments or applications that I have outstanding. You are able to do. How can I do that? Now, this is how you can do that. So what I've just shown you is how to re-engage system for a document that is pending payment. But if at this point you did not want to go ahead and pay and you wanted to add other documents that you had recently done to the payment order, these are the steps that you can take. You go to search, document type, payment order. You can search for your application, PER 263. You click on search. When you retrieve that application pending payment, if you want to add an additional document to the page, when you select ePayment, what you will do is verify, but click OK. But instead of selecting Pay Now, you can also select Undo Pay Now. Now, what Undo Pay Now does is that it reverts the application to a registered state. A registered state for payment order allows you to add additional documents to the payment order or update the payment order. Once you click yes and you search back for this application, you'll realize that it will now say not pending payment but registered. Let's refresh the page and look at the same application for payment. Search, document type, payment order, the document reference we are using to search for our payment order. We're still in the payment order reference. We did not proceed with the payment for this application because we wanted to add another one to it. We click on search. Notice, because I selected the undo for the pay now, it brought application to registered. Now again, at this point, I have a decision. Do I want to go ahead and edit and add a second document to be paid for, or do I want to discard? Select ePayment. Do I want to discard the payment order altogether? Now let's speak about these two options. If I click Pay Now, I will trigger the system to, again, just like what we did before, pay for application 263. If I want to discard this payment order altogether, so I'm able to go to accounting and new and find it because it would no longer exist on a payment order, I can select discard. But what if at this point I decide that I want to add another document for payment? I could scroll on the page, enter my relevant details, the dates as well. Let's find the date for that application. So you scroll on the document, searching for what? Because you want to update this payment order. So the search payment order feature allows you to make changes and updates and re-trigger a payment that was initially actioned. I want to add 264. I click add and close. So when you understand the full functionality of this search feature, you are able to add to your payment order. You're able to remove your payment order. You're able to update a pending payment document. I have decided my document in the registered state, I want to add another document. If I had selected now, pay now, then I would have a new payment order details being displayed on this existing document. So if I select pay now, then this payment order would now have two applications tied to it. So if I want to search for the payment order or want to search for the permit, the relationship would have now been created and I can select pay now. And pay now will now direct me again to the payment gateway so I can make my payment. So once I click on yes, it will take me to the section to enter my credit card details or my debit card details. So there we have it, a full view of our payment order feature. How to select payment from pay now or pay later, which is closing the application and going to accounting, payment order new. We also saw how we are able to search for an existing payment order that is pending payment and to trigger that payment once more. We learned how to discard an existing payment order so that it can now be available once more to be paid for.